prepare the perfect cabin crew CV. In COVID-19's competitive job market, there's absolutely no room for mistakes at any point in your job search, especially when it comes to your CV. Instead of struggling to grasp all the rules and expectations of the CV writing when the stakes are this high as they are at the moment, you can stay until the end of this video and make an outstanding CV, and I will shortly share with you what I want and what I have researched on this subject. In between the very first videos over here on my YouTube channel, I spoke to you about the CV preparation, and that video have helped hundreds of candidates to prepare their CVs and to make their CVs to be shortlisted. Today, a year later, and with this current situation that it is with COVID-19 across the globe, we certainly need an update on this topic. You've asked me and I've taken the time to prepare it. Also, we have something else that contributes to the enhanced version of the same. Most of you know, but for those of you that are first time on my YouTube channel, a very warm welcome to everyone on board. My name is Julia George. I used to be a cabin crew that flew for Qatar Airways for 10 years, where I have resigned from my last work position as a cabin service director, and I'm currently studying aviation management master studies at Wildau Institute of Applied Science in Berlin. And what really contributes to this subject that we're going to talk about today is that between all the subjects that we have on our studies, we also elaborate something called a job application subject, where we learn the very same things that I'm going to share with you over here. And in between all the topics is the topic how to make the best CV, how to make an outstanding CV that will secure you the job in the aviation field, but also beyond that. So let's start. Following what I will be saying in this video, I would request you to sit down, make yourself comfortably seated, take your laptop with you, open a blank page of a Word document, and we're gonna start preparing your CV together. Alongside with the segments of the CV, I will be explaining to you why all those informations are important to be incorporated in your CV. Let's start your CV with a nice passport-sized photo. You are applying for a job where look really matters. So before you ask me, is it a must thing to have that passport-sized photo on your CV? Let's think for a moment, what do cabin crew do on board the aircraft? They serve passengers, they ensure they're comfortably seated, but what's the most important thing? They interact with people, and the cabin crew are actually the front face of the airline. So definitely starting your CV with a nice photo, with that beautiful smile, will be a plus point for you. I will give you some suggestions over here, but I also have elaborated this topic about the photo requirements in a separate video, which is called Photo Requirements for Qatar Airways, and the link is below this video. So on this photo, please smile authentically. So with an open mouth, of course. Do not raise your eyebrows when you will be smiling, so you look surprised. Look straight to the camera, be camera oriented. And also when you will be taking this picture for your CV, do not wear glasses or colored contact lenses. The background, of course, should be one color, usually blue or white. Really doesn't matter for your CV. Now, pictures are definitely for your curriculum vitae, should be clear and should be at high resolution, so you will be easily recognized and you will definitely look professional and you will resemble everything that we talked about. Now, this first part of your CV will help the recruiters to actually remember you and to see whether you are suitable for the role of a cabin crew. And in this picture, I would kindly ask you and I would kindly emphasize, please try to look as much as you can as a cabin crew. That means your hair should be neat and tidy. For the gentlemen, conservative hairstyle. For the ladies, tie your hair nicely. Wear makeup, ladies. Your lipstick also to be on point. Make sure that you're smiling. We spoke about it. You should also, for this picture, try to wear a business attire for the photo. If you don't have this picture, don't worry. But my sincere advice to you is to prepare to have this passport size photos, because you will most probably will be applying for more airlines, not only for one airline. And it will be nice if you have this things organized. It's going to be less stressful for you if you later on pass the other stage and you're going to something called the second stage of your recruitment process. If you watch this video until the end, I'm very sure that your CV is going to be shortlisted. Now, if you want to share a CV objective after the photo at the beginning, that's totally fine. And I would give you some advices which are providing and are containing the context around the COVID-19 job search. So the first one will be, if you're a cabin crew who already has an experience, then you might write in this sentence, you might write organized and accomplished cabin crew who's seeking for a job in customer service to exercise a passion for providing an exceptional customer service experience. You might also include that perhaps you possess a proven history of positively affecting flight and pre-flight satisfaction rates by being part of cabin crew team that has won certain awards, for example. And over here, if there are such awards, if they do exist, then you can mention them. If you have been part of Qatar Airways team, then you definitely want to include this in your sentence below your photo, as it's going to be definitely a plus point for you. The second suggestion that I would give you for an objective sentence might be motivated customer service graduate or an aspiring cabin crew. You're a candidate, let's say, with advanced communication skills who is seeking to grow the knowledge in the customer service industry with a job opportunity that is available now. Another sentence that you might use may sound like an accomplished service professional who's seeking to leverage an extensive knowledge of customer service relations, business and international communications in a customer-focused or in a customer service-focused position that works directly with customers and that ensures a positive experience. So these are the three types of sentences that I would go around. Definitely, I would again ask you guys to not copy-paste everything that I have said from the beginning until the end of the sentence, as you will definitely be sounding like many candidates around you, and you don't want that. I've given you these examples in order for you to know what kind of a sentence you should form and put right below your photograph, so you will definitely, beside your look, being remembered of something called your personal mission of and a vision how you would like to incorporate yourself in the organization that you're applying for. It is very important at the beginning. I want to highlight and tell you it is very important that this sentence has been prepared and tailored for every job that you're going to apply for. This sentence cannot be same for every airline you're gonna apply for. You have to sit down and write the sentence that represents you, because you, at that sentence, at that moment, you're identifying yourself with the organization. And you need to, first of all, study the organization, study the airline to know what you're gonna write. Now, the next thing that comes on your CV are something called your personal details. I have observed a lot that candidates are often sending me their CVs with their personal details right at the end. I personally do not agree with that structure, and I have a reason why I don't do that. And it's my own right, of course, and my own opinion not to agree with this. That now, from the aviation management point of view, as how we are studying the job application subject, I am suggesting to you in this video that every CV, every curriculum vitae that you're starting and you're writing should start it, or your personal details should be staying right after the photo with all the informations necessary. Let's first remember also for a moment, when we meet the recruitment team, what is the very first question that they're asking us? They're asking us, please introduce yourself. Also, you, when you're interacting with someone, when you're talking with someone, what is the first thing that you want to know about that person? You want to know the name of that person. You're interested to getting to know that person by their name first, right? So include your name and your contact details as per the interaction that we have with people on a daily basis. After we see them, we write. After we're presenting our picture, we're writing our name. That means we're writing our address, our phone number, our email address, etc., etc. You might also over here include your date of birth and your marital status. You're single, married, divorced, whatsoever. Something else is coming over here, which we're gonna debate and talk about, and you might want to include first your work experience or your education. And I would a bit stick over here and elaborate more on this. Something important that I want to highlight over here, and we have been actually studying about this on my master's studies, when we are debating should we put first the work experience or the educational background. And I'm going to tell you something very important. You should choose what you believe in. Right now, it's the tool that's going to help you to get selected. For example, if you're, let's say, a software engineer bachelor degree, you have a bachelor degree in software engineer, and you have been working at the same time, not in your field, but you have been working in a hotel and you have been working in the customer service field. So you have something called a customer service experience, which is different of what you have graduated. And you're applying for a cabin crew job. Then definitely in this CV, in this curriculum vitae, the first thing that will come after your personal details would definitely be your work experience. Because for the simple reason, it is in accordance with the job description that you're applying for, as well as the style and the content that this position you're applying for has. And it is a bit, how can I say, it incorporates with the organization, within the airline, in this case that I have mentioned. Now, it is very important to know that in such cases, you are choosing what is your strongest tool to get the job. Another example, which I would also share over here, I will take myself. For instance, I applied for the medical, as a medical assistance job in a hospital. Now, my educational background is a criminologist. So I prepared my CV and I definitely sat down and I definitely thought about it, because also, as I've shared with you, I do possess a knowledge on the job application process. I never bought a CV and never ever bought a CV template, but I always sit down, I open a document the way I ask you to do it in this video, and I prepared my CV. And therefore, I believe that every CV writing is the start of a personal story that involves lots of research, involves a lot of work, and involves a lot of dedication. And that is part of every job application, and every job application is part of our individual learning experience. Now, going back to the CV preparation of mine, after I've put my personal details, I came to my work experience first before my educational background, with highlighting the first aid training as a component to all the trainings that I got as a cabin crew. And of course, I was also selected when I did this. It is very important to, first of all, as I have said at the beginning, elaborate which job you're applying for and check which job you're applying for. If, let's say, I was applying to work in the police, in some safety and security agency over here in Germany, then definitely my CV structure will have different structure. Let's say after the personal details, I would include first my educational background, because that would correspond effectively, as I'm a criminologist, as I have mentioned earlier, and that would correspond to the job that I am applying. But I did not apply to work in the police or to work in an agency for safety and security. I applied to work in the medical field. Therefore, my work experience and my additional training, or my training along with my work experience that we were getting every year as a first aid trainers in Qatar Airways, was something that I have highlighted. Bottom line, in every part of this video, I'm gonna be highlighting that every CV for every job that you're applying for must be set down, considered, researched, rewritten, and rechanged. Paragraph will be rechanged. Later on we'll come, or in the bonus video of this video, I'm gonna come to the maybe most important point. Therefore, if you want to be successful, you need to stay tuned until the last minute of this video, and don't forget that everything that we're talking over here, in order to make a complete sense, don't forget to watch also the bonus video for this video. So, to summarize, if you already have some work experience, then you might be using something called a standard chronological format of your CV. Now, this format is useful when you have, let's say, 3 to 5 years of experience in the same job or in the same field that you're applying for. And if you're searching for other jobs or other industries that you have not been working for in the past. Now, it's important to know that maybe over here you can consider something called a functional or a combination CV format. As explained earlier, this format type is going to prioritize your relevant skills as opposed or totally different than your professional experience, which may be more useful information to the employers, to the human resources team when they will be assessing are you fitting the job or not. Work experience. When it comes to your work experience, please do list all your work experience, which is including both your academic and your non-academic work. If you have it, please do list all your work experience that you have, especially if it's a customer service related one and doesn't have anything to do, let's say, with your academical degree. Because if you're applying, let's say you're applying for a job related to the customer service. List the employer position, the employer you've had, list your position, the dates of employment. Also include a well-explained list of your duties and accomplishments if you had. This would make you to be an outstanding and remembered candidate. Another thing that I suggest you to use is to write, is to have short sentences which will be stating what were the key job responsibilities, also highlighting your skills and accomplishments. Again, include relevant information with just enough details that will demonstrate to the recruiters that you have skills, you are someone who pays attention to details, you have organizational skills, etc., etc. Do use bullets and try to keep this bullets maximum to 6 to 7 lines. This is how your CV will look rich. I talk about this a lot, and you may be seeing, and we want you to be seen as a candidate with something called the credibility. And we don't want to have the basic candidates. We always talk over here something called outstanding candidates. Don't forget to include also the achievements. If there were any during the time you were with the company, you will be viewed as an individual who has been part of a successful team, and definitely that's gonna rise up your chances. For example, if you're a Qatar Airways employer, previously you've been redundant, laid off, and let's say you're applying for another job, and during the time you were with the airline won prizes such as best airline in the world, best business class, and stuff like that. Do mention this, because these facts will make you an outstanding candidate that previously has been part of a winning team, showing to the recruiters or to the human resources team that you're a success-oriented person. Please pay attention to what I'm going to share with you now next. If there is that one thing that makes the recruiters being very cautious, that is finding gaps in your application CV. Now, that goes without saying, and there are a lot of good reasons for extended gaps between jobs. It might be that you simply have decided to take an unpaid leave to weight up your options, to check options out there, or you tried something that didn't work out perhaps, or you just have been generally unlucky, and that's all. That's fine. But what you need to do is you need to prove to the recruiters that you haven't spend your time simply sitting around and waiting for something to fall into your lap. Human resources teams of the airlines will look for evidence that you have been proactive and that you have used your time to actually do something. Include in your CV ways that will prove that. Perhaps you've gone for some freelance work as a stopgap, or you have embarked on a course to learn new skills, you've taken coaching classes, etc., etc. This will reassure your future employer, will reassure the airlines that you have a solid work ethic, and it will put you definitely in a better position. Make sure that you include in your CV any such activities that you have undertaken, so that your potential employer, in this case it's the airline human resources teams, that will see that you've actually not been sitting and doing nothing between your jobs, that you actually have been, as I have said, proactive. It is very, very important. Education. Please include your highest qualification. If you have a degree, there is no need to include your high school qualification too. Include the dates that you have attended, what are the qualifications that you have received, and the name and the location of the school or the college that you have attended. Often candidates discuss, is it bachelor degree a must to become a cabin crew? If we're talking about a cabin crew role, no, it's not, of course. However, don't forget that there is a high competition and that the cabin crew job is a very selective one, and it is totally okay if you only have a high school degree and plenty of customer service experience. However, if you do not have a work experience and you only have a high school degree, then it will be, I'll be very honest with you, it's going to be very hard for you to step out and to be noticed, because you're basically don't have something that you're fighting with to get the job. You basically did not have the time if you don't have a work experience, I'm talking, and you do not have, let's say, a high school degree diploma. Again, please do not take my recommendations as something that you must do. On the airline's website, it's clearly written that a high school degree diploma is a minimum requirement. And if you think how many candidates with bachelor degree and with lots of work experience show up there, then you might at this moment think that it's time for you to gain some education or to gain some work experience, let's say in another airline, before you go and apply for a Middle Eastern airline, because Middle Eastern airlines are very competitive. I'm going to stick over here for one moment to share with you. If you do apply for a job, let's say that is connected to your high school degree diploma, and let's say you have a bachelor degree, then you might also include your high school degree diploma as well, because you're applying for a job that it's suitable for your high school degree diploma, beside the fact that you have, let's say, a bachelor degree. So it's very different. And as I have said at the beginning of this video, it is important that every job you're applying for has been actually set down, researched, thought about it, and your CV has been modified and tailored to the job that you're applying for. Now, with COVID-19, more than ever, these are the details, the small little details that will have such a big impact on any elimination that's going to happen. And I sincerely hope that you watching this video, you're going to avoid that. We're coming to the most important part of the curriculum vitae, which are your key skills. This is the most important part of your CV, and I suggest you to really sit down and really think about them. Please think about your best qualities that are relevant to the cabin crew job to have them. Make sure that they are what you think are the most important qualities or things that the cabin crew should have. There are no right or wrong answers. If you want to be an outstanding candidate, then please do not write your key skills just in one word. Now I'm going to list for you words that usually candidates write them in their curriculum vitae, and they're not resembling any key skills. They're just words, and I sincerely suggest you to please avoid writing your key skills in a word way, such as approachable, professional, teamwork, responsible, adaptable, problem solving, customer service. Now, these are words, these are not key skills, and they're not telling to me or to the recruiters how you are going to be fitting in the job. What I want to share with you is, or recommend you to please have a look on my video on my YouTube channel, which is this video. I'm going to put a link below in the description, because I've clearly explained to you how you should write your key skills. And I think that the success that I've had with this video, with candidates being selected, having their CVs being shortlisted on the spot, is because of this aspect. I have well explained them, what are the necessary key skills and how they're supposed to write the key skills in the CV. Something super crucial that I want to share, beside the key skills that you have seen in my video, please update your CV with any new skills that you have learned during the lockdown and the entire situation that has been, because this is what the recruiters will be looking at. They will be looking what you have learned in the meantime. One outcome of the COVID-19 lockdown for some of us may be a free time. This may be as a result of being perhaps laid off, or simply due to the restrictions of movement currently being imposed by the governments. But It should be a perfect opportunity for you to get some new skills on your CV, and preparing them well will actually give to your human resource or to your future career as a cabin crew a bit of a boost, and you will fulfill those gaps if you have them in your CV. Now, some examples of skills that you could learn during the pandemic and that you can include would be, you might want to show that you have been infiltrated or you have infiltrated new technologies in your job at every level, and let's say you showcase that you have gained some digital skills, or as this will be definitely a plus point for you, as many of the cabin crew trainings actually have been are conducted in digital form, and in future will be more, and this will be appreciated. Another skills can be perhaps analyzing data. This is my favorite. Alternatively, you are looking, let's say, to master Google Analytics, and this will definitely help you to present as someone who understands how a business grows through intelligent data, through collection, through analysis, etc., etc. Another skill that you might include also, let's say, is writing. You have been dedicated to research and preparations in order to be organized in all stages of the recruitment processes, and in order to understand more the COVID situation and its political and economical implications. You have gained some writing skills. Again, these points, you're going to elaborate them in short sentences. Your key skills should be always a short sentence resembling what you have learned and what you are able and capable to do. Now we come to the point of languages spoken. List all the languages that you have, that you are able to speak, and if you have used the COVID situation to learn a new language, please do not hesitate to write that down as a point that you have been doing it during this COVID-19 situation, because it's going to be highly appreciated. One important thing I want to highlight, and I keep on saying this all the time, is that if speaking few languages is not a guarantee for you to get the job. Everything I spoke in this video is equally important to the language skills. Language skills do not overpower the other skills and your work experience that we have talked about. When it comes to your hobbies, and people sometimes include them, but I do believe they're very, very important, and we learn this in our job application subjects. I do have a video on that where I clearly state why your hobbies are important and what do they include about you. Please have a look on that video. The link will be also in the description below this video. The video is called Cabin Crew Interview Questions. Tell me about your hobbies, and that short video, as I have mentioned earlier, will be able to represent you as a candidate who's definitely fitting for the job role that you are applying to be in. To summarize, your CV structure includes the following components: photography, CV objective, personal details, education, work experience. We have already discussed what can go first, your key skills, languages spoken, and your hobbies. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations! You have successfully completed the mini aviation management course related to your CV preparation. Last but not the least from this video, please do not leave my channel until you have looked at the bonus video, which is part of this video and explains to you how your CV has been shortlisted. I did a research on this, and after discussion with experts from the human resources, I've came to know that definitely there are softwares out there which are used by big companies such as the airlines in the Middle East. After watching that video, you will have a clear picture of what does it mean to incorporate all those key skills, all those work experience, educational background in your CV. Thank you very much. Bye-bye and have a nice day.